If you are not familiar with funeral programs for genealogy, you should begin to include them in your research. Funeral programs are the brochures passed around during a funeral service, telling the order of the service and listing the music that is played or performed. But they also oftentimes provide a portrait of the deceased person's life. And for many Black families, they serve as a precious genealogical piece of ancestry and heritage. Here's what we'll cover today: why use funeral programs, where to find funeral programs, how to cite a funeral program as a source, and creating a collection of funeral programs. So why should we look at funeral programs? People in marginalized communities are less likely to have an obituary published in a newspaper. Funeral programs provide a valuable social and genealogical information, typically including a photograph of the individual, an obituary, the names of the parents of the deceased, a list of surviving relatives, birth, death, and marriage dates, maiden names, past residences, place of burial, religious affiliation, occupation, and their greatest achievements. Without access to funeral programs, this information can be hard to find, particularly for marginalized populations. Records about the lives of many in these communities were often either destroyed, kept in private hands, or never created in the first place. One genealogist stated, "The first bit of advice we give to everyone who's thinking of starting their ancestor research is, find the person in your family who collects the funeral programs." Funeral programs provide an intimate portrait of those who have passed away, as well as providing a rich source of genealogical information. There's a growing number of libraries, archives, and societies that are collecting, indexing, and publishing funeral programs online. Collections tend to focus on the local area surrounding the institution that collected the programs, so it's helpful to know where the various collections are located in case you have ancestors from those areas. Brownsville in Haywood County, Tennessee is located in West Tennessee. The Geneva Miller Historical Society, located in Brownswood, focuses on providing free exhibits and information about the history of Haywood County, Tennessee. One of its online exhibits is its African American Funeral Program collection. I couldn't tell from looking at it how many they had included, but it looked like it's a pretty good number. The Digital Library of Georgia has over 11,500 pages of digitized African American funeral programs from Atlanta and the Southeast. The collection includes 3,348 individual programs that date between 1886 and 2019. Major parts of the collection are from Atlanta, Augusta, and Thomasville. The Birmingham Public Library has a collection of approximately 5,000 funeral programs, donated primarily by Birmingham area families, but also families from other parts of Alabama. Family Search has funeral programs from Dallas County, Missouri, Boonville, Indiana, Yakima, Washington, Gila County, Arizona, and Mary Small's 350-item collection that covers Idaho, Utah, Montana, and Wyoming. The Atlanta chapter of the Afro-American Historical and Genealogical Society has a funeral program collection of 866 programs. Digital Maryland has a collection of more than 1,800 funeral service programs dating from the 1960s from the collection of the Enoch Pratt Free Library. The Houston Public Library of Houston, Texas has a collection of 1,683 African American funeral programs. The Fort Worth Public Library, also in Texas, has a collection of 1,363 funeral programs from Fort Worth and Tarrant counties. The Portal to Texas History, which is out of San Antonio, has a collection of 4,528 African American funeral programs from 8 states and 34 counties spanning 10 decades. Digital North Carolina is a collection of materials from 319 libraries, museums, and archives across North Carolina. Its R. Kelly Bryant Papers and Obituary collection provides access to 229 funeral programs. The International African American Museum, which is located in Charleston, South Carolina, has a growing collection of funeral programs on its website. The website even has an online donation form where you can donate funeral programs yourself by uploading them on a website form. South Carolina's Spartanburg County Public Library hosts the Bessie Norris Wofford collection of funeral programs on its website. The collection includes programs from 1957 through 1991, primarily of services in Spartanburg County, South Carolina, particularly Roebuck and Walnut Grove. It also includes a small number of programs for services for natives of South Carolina that were held in other states. The Indiana African American Genealogy Group has a collection of funeral programs on its website. From the resources page, click where it says click here that I've surrounded with a blue box. Once you click on the box, it takes you to the page where the funeral programs are located. Once you're on that page, you can search by first or last name, or you can browse the collection. I was not able to find out how many programs are included in this collection, but it looks like it's a very large collection. Of course, not all funeral programs are digitized and available online. The Black Archives History and Research Foundation of South Florida has a funeral program collection spanning from 1962 through 2021. The collection measures 5.5 feet of shelf space. The Buffalo African American Funeral Program and Obituary Collection includes programs from 1948 through 2007 and is on 5 reels of microfilm at the Monroe-Fordham Regional History Center, Archives and Special Collection Department at the E.H. Butler Library of the State University of New York and at Buffalo. The collection is open to researchers by appointment only. There is an index to the collection on the website, which is listed on the screen. The Black Metropolis Research Consortium has an obituary and funeral program collection that includes almost 1,200 African American obituaries, funeral programs, funeral hymns, and thank you cards and letters from Evanston and the North Shore area of Illinois. A database of the holdings is available on site at the Shorefront Legacy Center for researchers to use. The programs in this collection span from 1941 through 2012. The Chicago Public Library's Patricia Liddell Researches Archives holds a collection of 12,000 funeral programs in 152 archival boxes. The programs date primarily from 1990 to the present, but include older materials as well. Access to the funeral programs is provided through the index database. Researchers are to request assistance from the Harsh Research Collection staff. So now that I've shown you some places where you can find funeral programs, let's go over how to cite them. Let's say you found the funeral program about your ancestor and you want to use the program as documentary evidence. You'll need a good citation to the funeral program so that other researchers, or you later on, will know where to find it. So you'll want to include the person who created the program as the author, the title of the program, and the date of the funeral. You want to include where the funeral was held, whether it was at a church, a funeral home, or graveside. Tell the state and city where the funeral occurred. You'll want to indicate whether the program is a paper copy held at a library or archive, or whether it's a digital image. The Evidence Explained website has a really good blog post explaining how to cite funeral programs, and I've got the link to the Evidence Explained blog here on the slide. So here's an actual funeral program citation. We don't know who wrote the program, so we just write "not available" instead of the author's name. We've included the date, the title of the program, the location at Springfield Baptist Church in Augusta, Georgia, and we include the fact that this is a digital image that was retrieved from the Digital Library of Georgia, giving the exact URL where someone can find that program. The Digital Library of Georgia helps you with citing funeral programs by giving you the recommended citation. All you have to do is click on the word Cite, which I've surrounded with the yellow box. Once you click on Cite, the citations display on the screen in MLA, APA, and Chicago citation formats. Northwest Library's Genealogy and Local History Room will soon begin a funeral program collection. We're very excited that one of our patrons is donating his collection of over 100 programs to get us started. Stay tuned for information on how you can participate. Northwest Public Library is located at 2507 Dawson Road in Albany, Georgia. You can call us at 229-420-3270 or email us at genealogy@docolib.org. Thank you so much for joining us in today's class, and thank you in advance for helping us with our funeral program collection. Join us for our next class as we navigate to our ancestors using Google Earth. Thank you.